Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mind Your Biz channel. My name is Seth, and this is another installment of the Creator Highlight Series. Today, I've got a returning champion, and he has changed jerseys, but he has not changed his MVP status. You know him, you love him. You asked for him back. I got Bill Noble. Bill, welcome.
Seth, thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure, and I'm so excited to talk to you about the current direction that you're taking your media publishing, the current direction that you're taking some of your finance and investing insights, because a guy like you, we don't have two of them. You broke the mold when you came into crypto, actually. So
Appreciate that.
No, I'm very excited. But let's talk a little bit about, for the audience maybe that doesn't know you yet, let's talk about Bill Noble in 30 seconds. Who the heck is Bill Noble?
As an 18-year-old, I started as a summer intern at JP Morgan in New York. And that was the summer that Iraq invaded Kuwait. I saw some of the most wild price action ever. I picked up a chart book. And from then on out, I branded myself as like the chart guy for highly volatile times. So I did the dot-com crash in 2000. I did oil to 150 in 2004. I did 2008 with Goldman Sachs. I was there for 12 years. And then somebody called me up and said, you know what, Bill, it's a disaster every day in crypto. So why don't you take a look at it for us? And I've been here ever since. That was 4 years ago.
That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Mind Your Biz community, hit those thumbs ups and obviously follow Bill immediately before we do anything else. But there's very little else in the crypto space that compares to that kind of trajectory coming from those traditional finance markets, and understanding like those skills in technical analysis and in fundamental analysis from like the literal trenches, like you're saying, of global conflict, and understanding how that would affect markets, to now getting into crypto. Like, Bill, we've needed you here for a while. So glad you got in 4 years ago. But let's talk a little bit about the point of no return for you. When did you have that aha moment when you just saw not only that you could flip your skill set into crypto, but for you, you realized that it was going to be an all enveloping thing, that Bill Noble and cryptocurrency would always be living together?
Goldman Sachs used to have a proprietary trading unit, almost like an internal hedge fund. They were the primary consumers of my TA work. After 2008, we couldn't have that anymore. So, okay, we all moved on. One day, I got a call from one of those guys, one of those traders, who said, Bill, there are so many people dying to what you want to say or write about Bitcoin. I'm like, what's Bitcoin? He's like, well, it's crypto, and, just take a look at it. Okay. So I'm like, well, I don't know what this is, and I don't know how it moves. So I grabbed a pencil and some graph paper, and I started to plot it by hand. And the aha moment was when I realized that this computerized currency had a natural rhythm. It wasn't affected or lobotomized by QE. It really had the organic rhythm that William Gann, Elliott Wave, and all these disciplines were like totally designed to work on. And I was absolutely hooked. And I literally did whatever it took to just get into this business, starting with Charlie Shrem, right, as a researcher, because he wanted to build a reputable research platform. Survived that just simply god-awful bear market with, whatever jobs and consulting and an hourly wage job in a refrigerator that I could come up with, to get anchored and stay in crypto for the long haul. Crypto is freedom. Crypto is a free market. And I grew up studying free markets way back when and loved it. And I'm staying.
That's awesome. I mean, clearly those are the words of conviction that I think a lot of us who work in the space, I mean, we live by them, right? So again, I'm happy that you've done whatever it takes to maintain that voice and to grow your voice and grow your brand in the space. Again, we need it. Let's talk a little bit about those big wins and milestones. You mentioned working with Charlie Shrem. You mentioned coming up with some really great insights for the crypto faithful and for the Bitcoin community. What do you view as some of your biggest wins and milestones on your journey so far?
Well, milestone and win number one was that somebody put me on YouTube. my old boss at Tokenmetrics said, hey, this guy's good at presentations. Let's put him on the air. That went from once a week to twice a week. And now I feel like I talk all day and love it. So TV was a thing. The other aha moments were, like you said, there was a huge demand, particularly as you came into like last year, for somebody who could synthesize information across crypto, stocks, macro, bonds, the Fed, whatnot. So there was demand for that. And then the other aha moment was when I ran into Gold Retriever and got introduced to a bunch of guys who effectively wanted to put commodities on the blockchain. They wanted to start with auto staking with gold, and then they wanted to move on to effectively creating water futures. Now, this is a milestone because I've been in crypto 4 years, right? And everybody kind of gets their pick, right? Like Big Boy found Cardano, and my old boss had Matic and Helium. And, I've always wanted to get, my call on crypto, right? You got to get that 100x to go with your Bitcoin and your macro. So when I found something, I geared my whole life again towards working with that company, and they let me form my own YouTube channel. So, I I want to be my own influencer, and I want to be my own man in terms of doing something that, God, is so old school, right? What's old is new again. That's a theme for my career, and it's a theme for this project that I'm working at.
Yeah, 100%. And disclosure for the MineYourBiz audience, I was paid nothing to do so, but I did create a whiteboard video that explains a little bit about the fundamentals of Gold Retriever. So if you're wondering why this sounds familiar, it's because you've already seen some media regarding Gold Retriever. And I do talk to Seth Weiser and to another member of the Gold Retriever team on a regular basis because I'm so interested in what they're building next. So yeah, I'm not shocked at all that when you found this, that you realized, okay, this is extremely powerful. You have the right team specifically that's doing it, executing it. And so it's one thing to have a cool idea. It's another thing to have a team that can genuinely get it done. And so I get why you were running at that just at full speed. I'm excited to see your brand and to see how that blossoms into just an entirely self-directed thing where you have the freedom to talk about any project you have conviction about and not be accused of shilling. That is the creator's prerogative, right? So I'm excited for you, Bill. This is going to be great.
Yes, I appreciate that. It's nice. It's nice to be able to put yourself out there and say what you want to say. It's very refreshing and liberating. I mean, who knew the guy from Jersey was an artist and wanted to express himself on YouTube? Who knew?
There's probably more of them than we think, right?
That's right.
So yeah, it's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about some upcoming dates for you, Bill, and or for Gold Retriever at this point, because you talked about water futures, you talked about some of the other really great commodities that they're bringing onto the blockchain, but you also have this new kind of this freedom to work on a YouTube channel that you didn't have before. Now, be mindful of the fact that we're going to publish sometime, I think, in early February 2023. So after that date, are there any upcoming dates that the MineYourBiz community should be aware of and put on their calendars?
Well, I'm going to be at South by Southwest in March. So if we're on before that, feel free to stop if you see a big guy in a blue Arctic shirt doing man on the street content. I think, again, I own both Gold Retriever and Bark tokens. I understand that they're going to be launching a DEX in Q2. All right. And then we're going to be bringing online a strategic water reserve, right, where we're going to have a giant building where the actual water goes. I just got done taking photos in there. And then, honestly, the milestones and the thing in the future, I want to be on the ground in Greenland, right, where all this blue Arctic water comes from. I'm trying to plan a trip there for the summer solstice. Right, I'm big into GAN and planetary movements, and there's an astrology component of my work. And the summer solstice is a big deal, and I like to do it in Greenland, right? Because on the channel, I want live stream, I want shorts, and I want that thing you can't get anywhere else, which is like on location type shots.
Got it. So it sounds like you might be branching into Instagram media pretty soon then. Some of that short form travel content.
Right. Well, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, etc. So I'm going to take my brand and I'm going to see how far I can take it. You know, one thing that's interesting, once upon a time, I tutored the University of Texas football team that won the national championship, right? It was Vince Young and group, if anybody remembers that in American football. And if I can explain economics to those guys, then I can explain crypto, the markets, to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You know, like, how far can we take this, right? Well, we're going to find out.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited about that. I sincere best wishes for making that content on the ground in Greenland. Though I'm excited to see any kind of on location footage that you do. And it sounds like South by Southwest, if you're definitely making that happen, then I think that we'll have to plan some kind of a meetup, some joint content together. But Bill, let me ask, before I let you go, for the MineYourBiz community's benefit, what are some of the best links that people can follow to find you across those different social media platforms, or where should they follow you?
Sure, I appreciate that. So on YouTube, the new channel is Crypto Noble, or the way YouTube does the handle, it's at Crypto Noble, one word. Twitter is at Crypto_Noble. Same thing with TikTok. Instagram, which, like you said, is my new pet project, is Crypto.Noble. So it's all on Twitter. If you need all the links, Crypto_Noble on Twitter is where it's all happening. Live every day, right around 3 Eastern.
Awesome. Well, Bill, appreciate you being back on the channel. Can't wait to see that future content coming out. And I think I get the sense we'll probably go hang out on 6th Street. It's a vibe for South by Southwest, but no promises. We'll find out.
Right on.
Thanks for being on the channel. And MineYourBiz community, sub to all the links that you heard about. We will see you in the next one.